And welcome everybody to the Daily Space Weather. I'm your host Dan, aka smAsho. Today we'll be talking about how there is a coronal mass ejection watch in effect. We'll tell you why during the video. A new sunspot rises as one sets right on cue. How's that working out for your no sunspot days? All you grand solar minimum folks out there. And we'll be talking energy fragments. Yeah, energy fragments. So here's a close-up of the southern hemisphere in intensitygram, and you can see a sunspot setting over here. As well as one rising over here. Right on cue. Let's get to some more data before we show you some more images. By the way, here's a breakdown of where Stereo A and where the Discover, the SOHO spacecraft, is located. Stereo A is located here at Lagrange point 5, and here's what we're talking about when we say coronal mass ejection watch, because there still is a watch in effect. We do see some ejecta from this. Some of it is Earth-facing, but it's quite minor. Not enough to spark anything like a geomagnetic storm, most likely. And we'll let that play through. As Venus swings around the back, swings around to the back side of the sun there from the perspective of Lagrange point 5 where Stereo A is located. So most of that coronal material stayed in the corona, but a little bit of it ejected. We'll show you more coming up. Next, the radial flux is at 82. There's a one-year graph of the radial flux. And there's the last solar cycle, cycle 24. Welcome to cycle 25. Welcome to the Neo-Renaissance. Thanks for tuning in, everybody, to the Daily Space Weather. And let's show you some more stuff here. Some HelioViewer videos from helioviewer.org. And by the way, this is Mercury right here. A great view of that, available on the LASCO C2. We'll show you more of that later also. Before we do the HelioViewer movies, thanks to our patrons, the true source of funding for the content, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/smAsho. You'll get all kinds of benefits that we won't describe here, as some of them are secret. Please consider joining at the $3 per month level, as we'll be making the $1 and $2 per month tiers vanish by the end of the year. So if you're at the $1 or $2 tier, please upgrade before New Year's Day. So here we're looking at the LASCO C2 and the LASCO C3 and the 304 angstrom view. You can see Mercury beneath my Epic pen there sliding into the frame. And again, there is a little bit of ejecta that came out there. You can see a small halo ejection happening there. Some Earth-facing coronal mass ejection material. Nothing to write home about. Not likely to cause any geomagnetic storms or anything like that. We may see a tiny uptick in a couple of days from that, and we'll probably cover it here on the Daily Space Weather videos. Next, here's a full disk view of 304 angstroms, and we'll save the other close-up views of the sun for the end of the video. After we run through a whole bunch of other data, we've got to blast through it as there's lots of stuff to cover here at the Smash News Network. Let me just check the life of the stream here, and we are looking good. Now, today's Smash Lights segment will be a completely separate video. We'll do a YouTube exclusive live stream after the premiere of this Daily Space Weather video. So stay tuned. Not sure how long it'll be. Not sure what we'll talk about. We'll probably talk about politics. We'll probably talk about news stories. And we'll probably talk about COVID-19, since it's been hanging over the head of everybody like the sword of Damocles. Can't wait until that vanishes. By the way, please don't forget to check us out on Facebook. We've got a group there called Entropy Busters. Facebook.com/groups/Entropy Busters. Facebook.com/SmashoMash is the page. We've also got an Instagram account. If you want to see our recipe for curry chicken nuggets, check it out. We're also on Twitter, all the way up to 106 subscribers. Also, don't forget to follow us on YouTube, youtube.com/SmashoMash. We'll be doing an exclusive solstice stream exclusively on YouTube. That one will not be streamed to Twitch. If you're viewing on Twitch, make sure you subscribe over at YouTube. Also, press a notification bell, youtube.com/SmashoMash. What will you be doing for the final week and a day? Nearly 9 days. Nearly 9 days of fall remain in the Northern Hemisphere. Where will you be on December 21st at 5:02 a.m. and 20 seconds, Lehigh Valley, Allentown time, New York time, Eastern Standard Time? We'll be streaming live. Perhaps to be the first channel to wish you a happy winter, happy summer if you're in the Southern Hemisphere. Again, thanks to all of our viewers. And again, that will be at youtube.com/SmashoMash. We're nearly at 1,700 subscribers. Yay! Also, don't forget to check out our playlists, such as smashomash.org presents The Sun. If you haven't seen those yet, all kinds of close-up images of the local yellow dwarf, some set to music, some not. We're also on BitChute. There's exclusive content there thanks to our BitChute subscribers if you're viewing on BitChute. And we are streaming live right now at twitch.tv/SmashoMash. So check us out over here as well. Perhaps download their mobile app. We don't always stream live to Twitch, but it's a fantastic streaming platform, and that's why we tend to use it. Not the official streaming platform of the Smash News Network, but it is great. We've also got a Discord channel. Check out all the links at smashomash.com. And let's talk cosmology for a brief moment. Now, we're not going to roll any dice to see what to look for today. Today we're going to look at supernoval remnant, Nova Puppis 2007. And here's the X-ray transients from Nova Puppis 2007. You can find that on the Neil Gorell's Swift Burst Alert Telescope Hard X-ray Transient Monitor. That's a mouthful. The Neil Gorell Swift Observatory. If you type Control F and type in PUPP, you'll find that, and you're 2 clicks away from viewing it on Simbad and Aladdin Light. Pretty boring if you look at it in infrared, in optical. However, if you view it in radio, it's quite spectacular. So it is also bright in X-ray. Puppis A, supernova remnant, is the featured object. A series of objects, lots of objects. That's today's cosmology segment. We would also invite you to check out smashomash.com/forum. Since we've got an entire cosmology forum there, go check that out. Set yourself a login if you'd like to post and contribute. We've also got forums on geophysics, the sun. There's a free-for-all forum. And thanks for posting on the Sharticles thread. And Nabo J. You can find all our social media links there at smashomash.com. If you go to the Smash store and the SMASho store and you order anything through Christmas, make sure you enter the promo code SMASHO to save 10% on all orders. And let's talk about our mission. You can view our mission at smashomash.com/forum/mission. And here's what it is. It's to assist, study, and report on the ongoing formation of a unified theory of physics. Because if cosmology is getting rewritten, guess what? So is geology. And it creates a great opportunity for the advancement of the real science as opposed to the old broken science. It's also to raise the awareness of the general public of the relationship between space weather and Earth effects. Your weather comes from space. Enjoy that. Also to connect and consult with media organizations to multiply our reach. Hence, videos like this one. Also to demonstrate cutting-edge proof of concept solutions to problems. We've got tomatoes growing indoors right now. To publish scientific papers in a multidisciplinary manner, including sciences like spectroscopy, chemistry, astrophysics, health, wellness, longevity, cosmology, biology, magnetohydrodynamics, geology, and not limited to those topics, as a multidisciplinary approach is the way of the future. Don't be ossified in your beliefs. Also to assist mankind by advancing the study of predictive phenomenon as opposed to nonsense, in order to optimize value, reduce risk and liability, save lives and resources, and adapt no matter what the adversity is. And last but not least, to not be ossified in our beliefs and to treat those who are with love, respect, and inclusion to the scientific discussion. Don't be ossified in your beliefs, folks. If you're ossified in your beliefs, you're not doing science, as the first thing you should be doing with your own theories is trying to disprove them, not cherry-picking data in order to only report on data that advances your theories. That's probably an indication that your theories are wrong. What say you? Leave us a comment. And let's pull up some pretty trippy imagery here. Some new science making it look like the fundamental building blocks of everything may be fragments of energy, indeed not waves or particles. Who knew? A lot of people could have probably guessed. Please leave us a comment if you're a fragment of energy. Personally, I'm an electromagnetic field emitter. What about you? This article's from SciTech Daily, and it'll be all over the Science Wire, I'm sure. Fragments of energy, not waves or particles, may be the fundamental building blocks of the universe. And there ends today's Cosmology segment. Again, that was an article from SciTechDaily.com. Let's get back to space data. Data. Yes, I am a subject matter expert, and I know enough about subjects to know when to vanish. And let's talk about the real-time solar wind. Pretty uneventful here over the past 24 hours. We've seen a ramp down of the solar wind velocity, still at slightly elevated levels there, at 429 kilometers a second. Current solar wind density around 7 protons per cubic centimeter. Phi angle's been steady over the past 24 hours there. And we do see some coronal holes. We'll get to it momentarily. BTBZ at 5 and positive 4. And here's the KP index, a measurement of global geomagnetism, at 1. And next we'll look at the Geospace Magnetosphere movie to show you a 4-hour animation of the magnetohydrodynamic pressure, which again, pretty steady there. No surprise, considering the solar wind has been so steady. Next we'll look at ground magnetic perturbations, coming a little closer to home, to show you where the Earth's B field has been changing over the past 4 hours. And this isn't always caused by protonic induction. Welcome to the magnetic excursion. We've got 2 North Poles, and the South Pole has left the Antarctic continent and is in the southern Indian Ocean. Proton flux remains flat, having subsided from the last coronal mass ejection, which turned out to be a dud. And congratulations to everybody raising the warning bells about that. It was a good dry run. We saw a little bit of solar flaring here over the past 24 to 36 hours. Nothing in the C range, though. Only B-class flares have erupted. And the small coronal mass ejection that we just covered at the beginning of the video was associated with this, the largest solar flare of the past 3 days. And that occurred around, I think it was 1:40, around 1:40 universal time. Here's a star chart, and if you're up early in the morning, you may see a lovely crescent moon being trailed by Venus. A great opportunity to take photographs of space. And here we've got Mercury on the LASCO C3, and you can see, once again, you can see this coronal mass ejection here. It's pretty minor, but you can see a bit of ejecta on both sides, an indication that it's somewhat Earth-facing. Again, quite diffuse and not very significant, not expected to cause any sort of significant uptick in geomagnetism. Here is a view of the solar system as we approach a new moon. There's where things will be in a week. GOES magnetometer is looking a little smoother here, as I forecasted yesterday. And why? Well, because I look at the relevant data. And I don't conjecture. I don't assume, because when you assume, you make an ass out of you, but not me, because I'm not assuming. I'm looking at data and trying to understand how it ties together with the rest of the physics. So here's the top view ecliptic plane field plot, part of the National Sunspot Observatory. And for you new viewers, this data is derived from 51 ground-based magnetometers, as well as magnetometers on stereo A and stereo B. And there you can see where they are at Lagrange point 5 and 4, respectively. And let's bring up the last image here. And this is showing you the heliospheric current sheet's polarity, the Earth solidly in the North Pole-oriented current sheet there, shown in green. Next, we'll show a line of sight coronal hole plot, and we see significant coronal holes in the northern hemisphere there. And those are associated with the northern solar polar field, shown in green. South coronal hole now setting along with that sunspot in the southwest. Here's another view of the same thing. This also shows you the solar magnetogram, the solar B field shown in blue, nothing to write home about there. And last but not least, as far as magnetic field plots, here is a magnetic field plot of just the solar atmosphere, known as the corona. It's a chaotic environment. Some of our viewers like it. It's not particularly predictive, as this thing is all over the place, and it will remain all over the place, especially considering that there are sunspots on the Earth-facing portion of the solar disk. Next, we'll look at charging hazards and other associated electron flux phenomenon. We don't see any charging hazards. We see a fairly low level of electron flux, and we're expecting this to rise precipitously here. I would concur with this forecast. Over the next couple days, expect the electron flux to exceed 1,000 pulse flux units and get into the warning levels, shown here on this red dotted line. That's a 3-day chart of the GOES electron flux measured by the GOES 16. Here's a visualization of the total electron content. And we'll let that play through if I can regain control of my browser. Come on now, you can do it. There we go. And this will give you an idea of where GPS errors would occur, as well as show you any anomalous areas of electron flux, such as those that you see over the northern hemisphere, over North America, and a little bit of anomaly there over Antarctica. Nothing too extravagant happening there. And here are diagrams of the Van Allen belts and so on. Those are where the electrons are located, folks. And that previous image that we showed you shows the entire air column all the way out to the thermosphere. The area in between a GPS satellite and where your handset would be located. And here's a good diagram of atmospheric layers. The GOES 16 is endeavoring to measure things like the magnetometer at the F layer. Keep in mind those layers do change a bit, especially during times of geomagnetic storm. Here's an animation of the ionosphere. It's 24 hours of data, courtesy Bureau of Meteorology of Australia. And shout out to our Australian viewers. Thanks for tuning in from Munda. Here's the latest image. And we are a bit late today. The latest image today coming in at 11 o'clock Universal Time. Next, we'll look at volcanoes here on Volcano Discovery. It's volcanodiscovery.com, and we see some new entries on the list once again, like Sanchaguito. We'll get to it. Klujevskoye is still erupting, 23,000-foot ash plume. Abiko still erupting, 10,000-foot ash plume. Mount Ibu, 6,000-foot ash plume as it explodes. Popocatépetl also exploding, 21,000-foot ash plume there. And there you go, Sanchaguito, so an uptick at Guatemala is exploding. It's producing a 14,000-foot plume of ash. Sange, flight level 220, a 22,000-foot plume of ash. Revenador, volcanic ash not observed in satellite. It could be because of thick cloud cover above the caldera. Please don't pole vault it. It could be producing a massive plume of ash that we can't see on the satellite. And Sabancaya is also exploding. Puff emissions are enough to produce a 24,000-foot plume of ash. Please don't attempt to do a back handspring over the caldera. Next, looking at earthquakes over the past 24. The largest has only been a mid-level 5, and we see deep quakes continuing here, such as this 4.6 at Fiji, which happened at 12:52 Universal Time yesterday at a depth of 549 kilometers. And scrolling up the list, there's a deep quake at Colombia, a 4.5 magnitude at 190 kilometers depth. And there's the largest of the past 24, a 5.5 at Japan. Let's take a look at the location of that one. We don't always zoom in, but when we do, it looks like this. Anyway, there's the location of that, the largest quake of the past 24 hours. But let's go back to the list. We saw 4.9 in Nevada. Please leave us a comment if you felt that one. Let's check the location of that, as it's nearly a 5 magnitude quake. And there's a location of that southeast of Hawthorne and east of Mono Lake. Also, just about a half hour from when we recorded the video, it's a 4.5 deep quake at Nicaragua. 4.5 magnitude, 162.6 kilometers depth. And let's check the life of the stream here once again. Again, we are streaming live. It's twitch.tv/smAsho. Thanks to everybody who tunes in over there. And thanks to everybody who views the YouTube premieres. I would remind our new viewers that I'm not only smAsho, I'm also a client and the editor at large. And thanks to Smash staff, who's already received her Christmas bonus. Smash staff, the only employee that we have who does a fine job with not only the website, but also sharing the content. So please do the same and share the content. Here's windy.com, and we see a low pressure here centered over the northern Ohio, Michigan, Indiana tri border. And for some reason, we don't have ISO lines drawn in. Where did my ISO lines go? Well, I'm not going to look for it while streaming live. Oh, here we go. There we go. There are our pressure ISO lines. So, powerful low pressure system there over the Northern Pacific. As well as the Northern Atlantic. It's a double low over the Northern Atlantic. Let's advance this. There's where the GFS forecast tells us things will be tomorrow at noon. Wait, there we go. That's okay. That's 1300. Close enough. 1 p.m. local time. And again, we are located in Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania, right about there. If you were wondering where we are. And windy.com has taken control of my browser. So please bear with me. Oh, geez. Come on. Did I fail to show something? I don't know. I'm over it. Next, we're on nullschool.net. Jeez. And that's the danger of streaming live, folks. Here are the jet streams of the Eastern world. And we see a very concentrated jet stream there over Eastern Asia, as well as some pretty kinked jet streams in the Southern Hemisphere. It's fairly meridional jet stream flow in the south. Let's check out the Western world's jet streams. And I apologize if I missed out on showing you some of that stuff. Shout out to our blind listeners who tune into the content. Believe it or not, we actually do have blind listeners, and thanks to all of our viewers. Jet stream still splitting in two over the Atlantic Ocean. And you can see cold air being ejected from Canada into the north central US. And the 250 hectopascals is one of the best snapshots of weather if you had to only view one data point for the whole planet. I like to look to know where lightning is striking. It's part of our effort to show you a global view of what's happening. And lightningmaps.org is a good choice. Here's the GO16 lightning mapper. And we see some lightning kicking up here once again over the northeastern Caribbean. Here's a US Doppler radar map, and we've got a snow forecast for you. The current 1 week forecast is looking pretty crazy for the mid-Atlantic states. A forecast of 17 inches of snow for where I'm located. I'll talk about it in a minute. First, I'm going to appear back on screen. And once again, check the life of the stream here. And hopefully get rid of graphics that are in the way of screen sharing. So anyway, there's what's going on. Iowa getting some extremely heavy snow there, especially in the eastern portion. And that's probably wet snow, the kind that can cause power outages. Let's see if we have any power outages at poweroutage.us. It doesn't follow all the power outages, but it will give you some idea of any problems, as that wet snow so early in the season can take down power lines, and it's looking like we only see them in California, only showing 14,000 out of power, tracking 11 million clients. So here's the 6-day forecast here. That's Friday, December 18th. And the forecast there is for 17 inches of snow over east central Pennsylvania. Just keep in mind that a 6-day forecast is way too far out to be accurate. Anything beyond a 3-day forecast indeed is fairly silly. But in any case, there is the possibility, and that is a GFS forecast. So it looks like a double hit there, 2 separate storms, one a lot more likely than the other one. We'll keep you posted on that. Shout out to our viewers from the Mid-Atlantic. And it looks like Massachusetts is forecasted to get inundated. There's the forecast through Monday, and we're seeing some snow forecasted there. Significant snow. Looks like half a foot in the Texas stovepipe. Let's see what's going on currently in the cloud layer. Now it's too dark to see the cloud layer where I am. And so I use the NASA GOES interactive weather satellite, shortwave radiation satellite, 3.9 nanometers. Here's the water vapor map. And we'll zoom in on the Great Lakes region there, since we've got some heavy snow falling over Iowa. And allow me to vanish once again. Please share our videos on your social media so we don't vanish, as we would prefer to keep the videos free and publicly visible. There's what's going on in the cloud layer, and that's a stagnation happening. Here's the water vapor map, and you can see this swirling of this dry mass of air here is holding this thing up. We've actually got 2 separate systems there at different altitudes. This right here is an upper level low, and this is moisture being held in place by that dry mass of air. And of course there is cold air being injected from Canada into this system, and that's what's causing all of that compression. Again, there's the cloud layer. So it'll take a while for that to move out of Iowa as a result of that. Cloud layer, water vapor. And when your Doppler radar map is not showing you a definitive idea of what may be happening next, check out the water vapor map. Water vapor can't hide because the water vapor satellite shows you water vapor not even condensed onto clouds. So stay tuned, folks. We've got bonus features. Thanks for flying American Smashways. We're going to show you the current solar intensitygram as well as the current magnetogram in high res, as well as our zoom-ins. So first is the colorized magnetogram. Here's the magnetism of the new sunspot, which will get named today, and there could even be a second one following it to the south, as we see some significant magnetism down here. Again, the likelihood for coronal mass ejections is actually quite high, so keep an eye out for that. And there you can see this new sunspot. This will get a name today, and guess what? It will not be a sunspot-free day. Sorry, grand solar minimum, folks. There does not appear to be anything grand about the current solar minimum. Sorry that you've painted yourselves into a corner, but don't blame me for it. That paint will eventually dry, and you'll be able to return to reality. Here is the 94 angstroms view of the local yellow dwarf. See if we can see where those solar flares came from, and it looks like they indeed came out of the new sunspot group there in the southeast. So perhaps we'll make another video today also showing the recent activity. Here's 171 angstroms, and we've got two more close-ups of this. The southern hemisphere and a close-up of that new sunspot group. If we do see a coronal mass ejection, we'll be on top of it. And hopefully you won't be on the bottom, because you'll watch our videos. And there's a great view of that, and we're going to see an even better view on the next slide. So thanks for tuning in, folks. Remember, stare at the sun, don't drink it. If you do, don't drive. Don't let the government drive you to drink. And if you do drink, don't drive. In fact, don't drive, period. I might be out on the road, and I don't want to see you there. I like light traffic. And since it'll never be now again, may that solar wind be at your back and that covidiocy absent from your locale.